Okay, so we obviously we didn't play very well, and if you just say what are the key points, you have 5 turnovers. They don't have any, and we gave up big plays. 2 things that we hadn't done, and we had actually done a good job of, was not giving up big plays this year and taking care of the ball for the most part. But when you have 5 turnovers, particularly on the road, it's even worse. And then we give up big plays on defense. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like we held them to 2 of 13 on 3rd downs, but we gave up too many big plays on the other downs. And then the turnovers. I mean, really, that's what took us out of the game. They made the plays, we didn't, and they forced us into turnovers, and we could never catch up. We didn't really protect very well, particularly in the first quarter. And I would have to watch the tape, but I think that he had pressure they shouldn't have had pressure on. So before that I'm going to go there, I'm going to watch the tape. But I think he had a lot of pressure, and we didn't play very good up front, in my opinion. I think run blocking we were okay. I think I just, from the outside looking in, I just don't think we protected very well. He had pressure from the beginning of the game, and that, I think that had something to do with our interceptions.
No matter how hard you work, no matter how confident you go into a game, is every first-year starting quarterback destined to have a game like this? It seems like every one of them does.
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate. Again, I want to go back and watch and see how many of those throws he was pressured on. But I think sometimes when they're young like that, if it happens kind of like that early, they get a little flustered, He really was okay on the sideline. I just think they got a lot of pressure on us. And they had a good plan. They did a nice job coaching. Honestly, we got out-coached, and we got outplayed when it comes to the turnovers. And maybe I worked them too hard. I worked them really hard this week. I've worked them really hard the last 2 weeks. We're in week 9 of without a break, and I very well could have worked them too hard. It looked like we were a little bit flat up front on both sides of the ball. Maybe I worked them a little too hard. Regardless of if that's true or not, you're 5-0 in turnovers. I mean, you just really don't have a chance. And then we gave up a couple big plays, which we really hadn't done that on defense.
After having a game like that, what do you tell Sanders, later on after this loss?
The truth. Once we watch the tape, I mean, just exactly what happened on this play. Here's what should have happened. You did get some pressure. Need to do a better job of keeping 2 hands on the ball in the pocket, things like that. But just tell them the truth, exactly what happened. And if we didn't do a good job of protecting, then we let those guys up front know, and then we talk as a group. Look here, it's difficult to move the ball and be consistent if you have something different happening at different times. And so this is how we bring it together, and then as the coaches, we have to say, okay, maybe we had too much in. Maybe we didn't get enough reps on enough stuff, and we put them out there and didn't give them a chance for success. So, we all have to look in the mirror and try to come up with what the issues were, put a plan in place, and then we got to practice it.
Mike, this week, Jenkins was back. Last week he was out, and offensive line protected. I say worse this week than last week. So what went into that? There was a lot of confusing positions last week.
What went into what? I couldn't hear you.
Just sort of the back protection, like you mentioned before, quarterback, just all the sacks that
I would have to watch. As I said earlier, I'm going to say that we didn't protect very well, particularly in the first quarter. But I have to watch. It's hard for me to see from over there. Now, I hear what people are saying on the headphones up top, and that's why I was leaning toward. I don't think we played very well up front, particularly from a protection standpoint early in the game.
Was that part, if you didn't really get a deep
little bit, and they did the majority of the time they cheated the safety over the top of him. So it was a kind of a combination of both. When you're a play caller and you're having some protection problems and you know you're going to have to throw a 2-7 throw down the field, you get a little nervous. I'll be honest with you. I would say those two things contributed to what you just mentioned.
Mike, I apologize if I missed this earlier, but did this in any way feel like games at TCU or Kansas State last year?
Felt just like it. I mentioned that on the headset. And after we didn't get that second onside, I mentioned that exact thing that you just mentioned and said, I wish somebody would let me know how to avoid this from happening again, because it's sure not a good feeling. There's not been many times in our career where we're out of a game, where we're onside and to stay alive. And really, I mean, that's kind of where we were today. And it felt just like that. And it's ironic that you brought that up because I said the same thing.
Not to pile on, but it seemed like the defense at times.
You can pile on. We deserve to be piled on. Go ahead.
The defense was getting to the ball carrier, but seemed to struggle when they passed the ball.
That's why I said I might have worked them too hard, because we missed tackles today that we hadn't missed all year. And they seem more crucial when you're behind. Okay, when the game is going good or you're ahead, they're not as magnified like they were. We had them in 2nd and 11 or something, and Jim fires the backside end, and Brock has him wrapped up for a 3-yard loss and lets him go, and we miss a tackle, and he ends up getting 14 yards. And as I think back to those things that happened in this game, there was 3 or 4 times that happened. We'd been pretty good tacklers this year. We weren't good tacklers today. So maybe I worked them too hard. Maybe I gassed them out. I don't know.
Did you ever consider going to ground to Drew today?
No, because of we thought we were having some protection problems. So I want to say the first 2 interceptions were based on protection issues. If that's true, it's hard to blame him. Now, I might watch the tape and see differently, but that was my gut feeling.
Are you concerned also that it might knock a dent in his confidence? Come out of Spencer James' confidence?
Oh, I mean, I hope not. It's part of football. I mean, we've all, as quarterbacks, we've had games where we've thrown interceptions. And, I mean, I go back to what I said at the beginning. Was he sitting in the pocket and just had errant throws or bad reads, or was he pressured and it expedited everything and there was a contributing factor? I think we got to look at all that. Even if he is to blame, then he has to learn from mistakes and develop as a young player. And if he leans or relies or puts everything out there on games that we've already played, then, that would make for short careers for quarterbacks, particularly young. So I'm hoping that he won't do that, and that's certainly the way that we would lead him.
You got 2 touchdowns at halftime. Did you come out of halftime thinking you'd win the game?
Sure, yeah, we were fine. We needed a stop. We didn't get a stop. We hit a big throw. We thought we had the big throw to the other side of the field, so we just swapped touchdowns. That's when we needed that other one. We had the ball going down to cut it to a 1-score game, and I think it was 1st and 10 on the 30-something yard line. We fumbled, I think. Is that where it was? That even makes it worse. So, see, just, we couldn't get out of our own way. Sometimes that happens, and we instigated a lot of it, but then when we get in a situation like that, we just couldn't get out of our own way. We're getting ready to make it a 1-score game, but it didn't work out. That's the way it is.
This quarterback is pretty mobile, but he hadn't had a great success throwing it around, but he had a monster day today.
Yeah, we made him look real good.
What do you think of that?
I think we got behind in the game and allowed them to open up their offense, and I think it allowed him to freelance and got very comfortable with what he was doing. Play callers and quarterbacks, when they have a 2-score lead, generally play differently than when they're not. And I'm going to guess that's what happened, but he hit his throws. They did a good job of protecting. We didn't get enough pressure on him on first and 10. Sometimes that happens on 3 down. And it looked like that we didn't match the coverage as good. But he played fairly well today. I think he gained confidence as it went on. We allowed that to happen.
Anything else, Coach?
So were you, I don't know, I mean, you watched it at 3.5 hours, were you shocked by the end result here? I mean, you had such a good run here, winning here and playing well.
Yeah, I mean, and I know people say that, but this is a different team. Every year it's different. I'm not shocked because we turned the ball over 5 times at what happened, I'll be honest with you. And we gave up 2 huge plays. And that's really what you have to avoid. That's who we are as a team right now. Every year you have a different group of guys, and you kind of have a plan for who you are as a team. We can't turn the ball over like that and give up big plays. Those are the 2 things that we need to eliminate, and we didn't do that today. So there was a lot of blame to be put around quarterbacks, offensive line, corners, coaches, everybody. But in the big picture, if you turn the ball over that many times, no matter what, force those turnovers, and if you give up big plays, it's difficult to win. And that's what we did today. Good? All right.